All right, the property prequel, be in the know before you buy. Crossy, how are you, mate?
Srams, I'm well. How you going?
Good. I'm getting used to the different setup today.
Feeling very straight.
Yeah,
It's good for my posture.
usually we've got the couch, but pretty exciting. We're on debut. We've got a 4-pack to me, you, and two other guests. Yeah,
unbelievable.
A power couple.
Yes.
So really excited around this one. So we'll dive deep into that one. But first of all, Crossy, you've had some good feedback from that last one with Juliana.
Inspiring. I guess, as you know, mate, I grew up in Byron Bay, and a lot of sort of tourists and people from overseas sort of come through there. So over the years, I've become friends with a lot of Brazilian people and Argentinians, South Americans and stuff. So yeah, the feedback was pretty inspiring because the friends of mine that have come over sort of had the same struggles, but to be frank, have taken them a lot longer to get going than what it did with Juliana. So yeah, she's a bit of an inspiration, Juliana. She's a great lady and obviously doing great things in real estate. But yeah, so that was me. What about you?
Yeah. If you haven't had a listen to that one, obviously go back and have a listen. I got some good feedback randomly on our little property deep dive we did, which was good. So just around the whole rent vesting strategy, people obviously getting deflated with the market and whatnot, and they're trying to get into that dream property number one, where the whole rent vesting strategy now, where people are looking at sort of leapfrogging their way into their property. So that's a really good one. So we do appreciate all the feedback. We're obviously still very young as a podcast, but it's great we're making waves. And speaking of waves, we're going to make some big waves today. We've got the guys, a creative crew behind our Project X.
That's it.
If you haven't seen it, I'm sure everyone has. It's Australia's most viewed home at the moment. But our Project X, check it out on the gram. The photos look as good. I've been through it, and it's really similar to the photo. So check it out. It's an amazing property. We're going to dive deep into how this masterpiece came about. First of all, the story behind the people behind it, and get a feel for it. I know there's a big render part of it. You were talking around, we had a quick chat around your whole render at your place, hey? Yeah,
like even, and keen to talk to the guys today about it, but obviously the old Hampton styles have been very popular the last few years, and I don't know, my wife and I just didn't really want to do that, so we sort of obviously went down the rendering path, not to the extent of what these guys have done, of course, but just to, something different. And I guess it sounds a bit weird to say rendering something different, but in the current climate, it's very different to what everyone's doing.
Yeah.
So, if you haven't heard of the team that we're going to talk to today, you've been under a rock, I think, on the Gold Coast. So, keen to have a chat.
Yeah, so Matt and Emma, the guys behind our Project X, Render X and Object X as well. Yeah. So check them out. But thanks for coming on, guys. Really appreciate it.
No problem at all.
No worries. Thanks so much for having us.
Yeah.
No. So I guess firstly, we always like to start off. Everyone's got a mad story, and we're just chatting off air. Crazy. Just give us a quick snapshot of how you two came about. Really, a little Gold Coast power couple.
Well, Maddie and I only met in 2018 at Justin Lane. Actually,
where dreams happen.
Where dreams happen. But
is this Sunday night?
No, it was a Friday.
Was it?
Yeah. But 3 months prior to that, I was in Europe and I was on the popular page of Instagram, and I was like, "Oh, who is this tall hunk?" And I liked a photo.
Don't know how I wound up on the popular.
That's what I was saying.
And I liked his photo and didn't get anything back. And then, as confident as I am, I saw him at Justin Lane 3 months later on the Friday night, and I just got up and went, "Hey," and then I was like, "Oh my," like it all just came back to me going, "You don't even know this guy."
Yeah.
And then we ended up talking. My friends on that night knew his friends.
Yeah.
And it was a slow burn, but it's good now.
It's good now.
Yeah. Wouldn't take it back for the world.
Yeah, good. And what about you, Matt? That was the chat good? Like,
I was probably the only one chatting.
She jumped up and I was like, "Who is this?" But straight away, our eyes locked and I was like, "Wow, I'm in love with this girl."
Yeah, man.
Oh, bullshit.
Yeah.
It took a while for the flame to ignite. We
Yeah.
messaged each other a bit and didn't really go on a date or anything. And till we ran into each other again, and Emma said, "Oh, it's so fun that night. I really want to be your friend." And I was like, "Yeah, maybe we should go on a date and see if this can go any further." And sort of went from there. We hung out for a little bit, and I ended up going to Europe for 4 weeks. And Emma was like, "Go to Europe, have your fun." But I was going in the middle of winter, to meet my sister's boyfriend's family in the Netherlands, and I was like, there's not much going to go on over there. So ended up asking around a few days before I went, and
awesome.
now it's been 3 years. So
awesome. How good. And what about individually, like your backgrounds? Where are you guys from?
So I'm originally from Sydney, moved to the Sunshine Coast, and then been on the Gold Coast for about 11, 12 years. But this is home. I wouldn't see myself anywhere else. I love the Sunshine Coast, but I just feel like I feel like it's developing more and more. My mum and dad actually do up houses as well. But I feel like it's a little bit of a retirement village.
It's a bit behind.
It's a bit behind, and it's for our generation. You know, I'm still in my 20s. So, and Sydney, hell to the no. So, Gold Coast is where it's at, and we've really established ourselves as companies and as individuals. And I think this is, an exciting, very exciting city.
We were talking off air, obviously, about individual stories, and Matt, your story's a ripper, mate. So
I know.
I love this. Do you want to tell us your story?
So, I'm from a small country town on the far south coast of New South Wales called Tarthra.
Okay.
I grew up there and dropped out of school when I was 16 and started rendering. So I rendered for 2 years down there, and I was saying before, my friends ended up coming up here for schoolies. And I was like, yeah, sick, I'll jump on board. And my boss wasn't too happy with that. So came up, partied at schoolies with my mates, and came home and didn't have my job anymore. So my dad's a school teacher down there, and mum and dad were like, well, you're going to have to go back to school. And I'm like 2 years younger with the other guys, and I'm like, oh, God, can't be doing that. So I ended up packing my ute and driving up to the Gold Coast and didn't know one person. And
just on your own?
Just on my own, yeah. And then I ended up meeting a guy in the surf, and he knew a guy that just started a rendering business. So ended up getting his number, jumped on with him, and met the other apprentice, and he's still a good mate of mine, and sort of just went from there. And I'm sort of lucky I moved up here at that younger age, not like a bit older, because I could socialise and sort of meet lots of groups before everyone sort of couples up and starts doing their own thing. So
I don't know what it is, Shrams, but last week we had Juliana who got on a plane with a surfboard and a backpack. Didn't know anyone. Now we've got Matt that's come, just driven his ute up. What's going on?
What's your next person going to be like?
I tell you what I'm finding with the Gold Coast, and even in my business, like hearing the stories of people migrating here, there's not many, like the Gold Coast is a great place, a lot of locals as well, but there's a lot of people seeing the opportunity that the city is bringing. Hey, it's actually Australia's biggest non-capital city.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're a regional city. It's called a regional city, so we're the biggest in Australia. Plus, weather's good. Hinterland, you got hinterland to the west, surf to the east. Shops, cafes, and now the new demographics all coming, and people like yourself starting good businesses that are lifting the whole city.
I just feel like our generation is like such an exciting part to be a part of the Gold Coast, because we're all trying to do our own thing. It's so entrepreneurial.
Yes.
And like, we were saying before, it's a city where you can, do your dream and, have a little side gig to pay for your rent and it's feasible. Gold Coast is amazing.
Yeah, it's good. And so your background was rendering. What about yours, Emma? What was your sort of background when you came to the coast?
Oh my God, I'm the jack of all trades.
Yeah.
Listen to this story.
I've done, if you have a job, I've probably done it. I'm not joking. I was a professional dancer. I danced for Bindi Irwin. I was one of her jungle girls.
Really?
Yeah. Cheerleader for the Broncos. I've been an executive assistant. I have been a shop packer. I worked at No Name Lane Cafe. I did Pilates instructor. Yeah, I had a fashion label. I've been a Pilates instructor. I just feel like in life in general, you just got to give it a red hot crack, and it's all about how you are as a person and your connections, because connections now for us have honestly, yes, it's been hard work. But if we didn't do all of these weird things and my jobs, and I knew Koloshi when I was serving him coffee, and now he's selling our house, I know going a little bit of a tangent, but it's the universe that kind of all works out, and the connections have been so important. But yeah, I've literally I couldn't sit here for an hour because you'd be here for 3 days knowing my story.
I was just going to say that's really interesting, and we talk about it a lot, Shrams, about people, knowing what they stand for and staying in your lane and stuff. But Emma's a really good example of someone that couldn't care less what other people think.
Definitely not.
You've jumped around
No.
job to job, and a lot of other people would go, "Oh, what's she doing now?" You know,
Yep.
whereas
Yeah.
you know you're taught or you're grown up to go and get that job, and you'll do that for 30 or 40 years. Like
Totally.
we all know that's garbage these days, but I think it's a really good example of someone who has just got the blinkers on.
Yeah.
Has put the white noise to the side, doesn't care what people think, and
Yeah.
now they're just getting on with business.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a funny one. Crossy knows how spiritual I am. I love a good quote, but
No, I love it.
So does
When I
Emma.
see like 222444, all my Google's like, what's these angel numbers mean?
yeah, no, I heard this one the other day, and it was like life will always open up doors. Always
Yeah.
open up doors. It's our job to go through the doors, and life will close the ones we're not meant to keep going through.
Hey, I like that.
Yeah, you know, yeah.
Yeah.
So it seems like opportunity come for both of you. You just have a crack. You walk in it, see what comes off the back of it,
Yeah.
and keep going. And one thing I know around both of you already, you got the entrepreneurial mind, so to speak. So I think a lot of the best business people all have diverse backgrounds.
Yeah.
That's related to people skills, relating to others.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
You know what I mean?
People's
Yeah.
skills gets you
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does.
And just being a good person.
yeah.
It's not hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it is. It's so right.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that gets you so much further than you think.
Yeah. Other
No.
than touch footy on Tuesday nights.
Oi,
Don't watch
oi.
them.
Don't. The little Maltese terrier comes
Yeah.
out
Don't
of me.
mess with Sweeny.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit petrified if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Don't mess with me.
And just a quick one on the render piece. I just want to hear a little bit on Matt's journey with talk around because renders sort of come into play, I'd say probably in the last 18 months, like to a forefront where I've had clients doing renos and they're like, yeah, we want to do the render look, where maybe back in the day, was it always like that? Like you're telling a story around
Yeah,
the builders and stuff. Like how did it come, like
It's
your
sort of-
craft?
so pretty much where I came into it. So I started my business when I was 23, so 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And I always knew, I saw two sides of it. You can either, be the renderers that, I always worked with really old renderers that would just go to the pub after work. And that's sort of what I grew up around. And I was like, what kind of trade am I in? And I always looked at it and I'm like, one day they can work for me. But I never saw this path. And as soon as I found it, I was like, yeah, I just grabbed it and took it. But sort of where it started, there was a guy named Kingy and he was on the block and no one had really seen these products before. And this company called Rock Coat, who's the brand of render
yes.
that I use.
Yes. Yep.
So they brought out these line of products and this guy Kingy was using it on the block. And then after that, everyone, like the
Skyrocketed.
demand just went higher.
So that's where you reckon, so that would have
So-
gave it good exposure.
So,
right?
like, what year do you reckon that was, Matt? Because I remember
that was
Kingy.
2015,
Yeah.
I reckon.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Rockcoat started doing these courses. And luckily, they're based on the Sunshine Coast. They have their big thing on the Gold Coast. So I ended up going in and doing a course with them, like a 2-day course, and finished it. And I was just like, wow, like this is what you can do. You can actually put colours with it and like get a bit creative, which, I always sort of like doing stuff like that and loved, fashion and, doing stuff a little bit different. And then I ended up just doing like 10 sample boards and made this little sample pack and just started driving around
Didn't
the
you
Gold
render
Coast.
your fridge?
I rendered my fridge, rendered my washing machine. Like I was addicted.
It was
Like
like
I was
this.
literally just...
Because it was so new, I guess.
Yeah, and then I made this little pack. I was just driving around the Gold Coast. Any sort of job site I saw, I'd just pull in, show the builder, and if the builder was over the age of 40 or something like that, they're a bit old school. They're like, mate, get off the job site. Like, what do you think?
Yeah.
$200 a meter, you're trying to rip me off.
Closed-minded. Sort of
Very.
thing.
But there was a handful of people that were just like, yeah, I'll give you a go. And I had a few older mates who were just buying their first places and I'd just do free walls for them and started up an Instagram before sort of any tradies were doing Instagram.
Nice.
Yeah,
And then made like a portfolio of what I was doing. And then one thing led to another. And then I ended up getting in with sort of Rock Coat and I did the owner of Rock Coat's house.
Wow.
And then won the big job down at T-Bar, the big egg house on the
Oh,
hill.
you did that one?
So I ended up doing that one.
Wow.
That was my first really big job, and I was, it was a bit daunting at the start. I was just like, wow, this thing's just massive. And I had another renderer sort of come in, and we did it together as a team because I wasn't too big yet.
Yep.
And we smashed that out. It took us about a year, and then after that, it just sort of
I met you.
took
then,
off.
yeah.
I met Emma, and then I ended up on the block. doing work for Matt and Elise, a couple on there.
They won their room that week. That was exciting.
Yeah, so we did their formal living area and they won the reveal. Then I went back and did their bathroom and went really well, got good comments, and then they wanted me to go back, but I was saying no to all the builders up here. I'm like, I'm going down to Melbourne, and they're like, mate, like, couldn't leave them hanging. So it's good exposure down there, and I don't know, it just took off. I feel like, you know, I've helped out a lot of other renderers that have, you know, wanted to find some more out of it. Now there's so many renderers sort of getting into it, but it is a hard thing. You can't just pick it up and do it. You really need
you got to have the
dedicate to
art.
it.
Yeah.
And what about when you were doing that, Matt? So when you're doing the sample boards, pounding the pavement, as we say, going to builders, was there any time that you actually had some second thoughts and thought, you know what, it's always a no, or all the builders on the job are 40 or 50 and they're old school, they're fixed mindset, as Saram said before? At any point did you think, maybe this is not the right way to go?
Definitely, without a doubt. But it was more, you know, I was still rendering every day and had my business still working for other renderers and trying to build that. But the passion just took over everything. I didn't care what other people thought. I just knew this is what it was. And even if I just had so much fun doing it. I was like, couldn't believe I found this, you know,
this passion,
this niche in the market. And like, even if people weren't paying for it, I was just doing it on the weekends for fun, just to see how it come out. And I would just stand back at the end of it. So used to rendering since I was 16.
Bit of cement on the wall.
Standing back at it, and you're just like,
cool.
You know, cool. And, you know.
And it's so labour intensive as well.
Yeah.
You know, now, you know, Matt, with RenderX the last 3 years, it's really boomed. I can feel like, you know, those labour intense days, and don't get me wrong, he's the hardest worker probably in this room. I take my hat off to him. He's done 16-hour day, you know.
Yeah.
But it's he can actually step back now and go, how, like the colours now, and I feel like you just really appreciate it rather than just a bit of cement on the wall.
And at the same time, if you're rendering, you know, you're putting like a ton of render on the wall a day to make money. Sort of when I'm doing my stuff, you're putting it on super thin, but you only have to put on like, you know, 50 kilos on the wall, and it goes so much further. It's just way easier on the body, way cleaner.
Yeah,
you know, people,
working smarter, not harder.
I feel like this sounds bad, but you do get respected a lot more than being a renderer on a job. But everyone should get treated the same, really. But
it's like the modern day Picasso.
Mate, I am dating him. Michelangelo. Matthew Angelo.
Literally. It's
unbelievable.
It's the modern day Picasso. But honestly, what I'm hearing there is, again, doing what you love and make passion your paycheck.
Yeah.
I feel the more people who are doing what they love, the passion comes out in the work, in the craft, you know, and that's what I've seen there. And then fast forward, obviously, so you end up meeting this pocket rocket. So then it's kind of like, I'd love to see how the mindset, because I know you got like sort of like a PR, but like how did the business side of things start? Like, talk to me a little bit on the entrepreneurial side with ObjectX and how you molded everything.
Yeah, so obviously my 100 backgrounds, I'm always like, if you're going to do something, do it well. And, you know, when I met Matt, obviously, you know, I'm not talking about business with him straight away, but obviously as we moved in and we got more serious, you know, my background, I worked at a law firm for 5 years. And I was the EA there, and I was like, right, Matt, if that's RenderX, we had a trademark. You know, I made sure literally everything was done to the key. Like his swims was done, his insurances, everything was like all of that. And then I was like, okay, if you are going to be charging X amount of dollars for this square meter as an architect or a designer or what your dreams are to work with, you have to present in a way that you're at that caliber. Whether you're 26, 27, no one needs to know your age. Yep. They understand that you're good, but how are you going to get to show them that you're good?
The perception.
So, you know, let's change your quotes. Let's do an immaculate presentation. Nice. So when Hutchies or, you know, Baden Goddard, you know, architect, you know, they're coming to us, you know, we have those, you know, instant replies for customer service. So I think I really took that on board, whether he bloody liked it or not, 3 months in. But I just knew, right, this is something that, you know, I look back at 3 years and go, shit, it's only been 3 years. But, you know, it's been such a long journey to get where we are and the hard work, but it's paid off. And, you know, it's, you know, people now say, and I've heard it, oh, it's not, oh, I just got some rendering done here. It's like, oh, RenderX did that.
Yeah, love that.
You know, and then Matt, you know, back to the ObjectX, we were bored. 2019.
2019, it would have been like January.
Yeah. So I had a PR and marketing agency, and we went back on Jan 6. I'll shorten this down. And Matt said, "Oh, I'll go back then as well." But then all builders and stuff were like, "No, we literally have the January off." So within 7 days, he's literally rendered this bit of furniture, a bit of table, and put some. And I saw it in 7 days, and I was like, "This is for the people that you can't get to WA because you're busy here."
Yes.
If they want a piece of art that can't go on the wall, let's make a furniture line.
Love it.
Wow.
So then it became Object X, and then that's gone really well. So it just, the whole XXX thing, it's just, again, back to the marketing thing. It's all brand awareness, brand alignment, and when it has the X, you've got the X factor, you know?
Yeah.
Did you
That's so
You know?
awesome.
Yeah.
I want to ask Matt, because it's such a great point that Emma just made. Like, you can be the best trade person, tradesman, professional football, whatever it is in your trade, but unless you can actually effectively market yourself,
100%.
Yeah, that's it.
you could be sitting there just on the grind for the next 40 years.
Correct.
So I just want to get your thought. I'm pretty sure I know the answer, but the difference that Emma made, as she said, when she took over, like exponentially, you guys would have been on a big trajectory after that.
Yeah, without a doubt. Like, you know, before I met Emma, I think I had this app on my phone. It was like, quote,
Yeah, they
5 square meters.
I died.
$1,000.
I fell off my chair. I wasn't
Yes
even
or
sitting
no?
on one.
And,
I was like, sister, we got to sort this out.
Emma, with her knowledge and stuff like that, I think, you know, just created the business to the brand that I wanted to be seen at.
Yep.
And, you know, our quote, you know, it's not just like what I said before, 5 square meters this.
It's a whole presentation.
It's an introduction. It's a big presentation. It's like past jobs that we've done about ourselves. We have like a video in there.
Yeah.
It looks pro.
And
Looks pro.
and like customer service again, no matter what industry you're in. I'm sorry if, you know, let's just say Helen from Helensvale wants a wall. You have to act like she's the designer or the architect.
Yeah.
Everyone is in the same pool. You treat them the same. And then, you know, I feel like, you know, he's so respected in that because he gives everyone the time of day.
Yes.
Hey, look, we can't do it here because, it's this budget, but we can do a little bit there. And they're just, everyone's just so blown away by his artistry, yet just the way he composes himself. Because, like, if we were in a room right now and you'd never met him, never saw him, he'd just tell you he's a renderer.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I can see he's extremely humble. And
He's humble.
I was going to ask you, man, is that your upbringing? Like when growing up, obviously small country town, South Coast, is that something that your parents instilled in you?
Yeah, definitely. I think, I'm so glad I grew up in a small country town, and, I guess same thing would happen if I grew up here, but I love my parents. They're great.
Yeah,
and,
best family.
Yeah, they gave me a great upbringing, and, down there you're pretty out of the loop. You don't know much. Like, until I moved to the Gold Coast, I was
Schoolies, baby. You saw the whole world.
that was a scary week for me.
How long has this been going on?
I think we're very isolated down there.
Yeah.
And I think it's just me as a person. I was a pretty shy kid, and I guess my personality grew a bit more when I got a bit older and moved up here and met a lot of people and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess it's the way I was born.
Yeah. And now, when did the penny drop to, all right, business is flowing and things, and you're building, I love the brand, again, brand
Thank
awareness, and I love it, like the X thing. Like, people don't, as we were talking off air, there's so much behind marketing that people don't understand, isn't there? You know what I mean? So you've done really well there. When did the penny drop? When the whole, because it's coming a thing now where you renovate a home, you gain exposure for it. Like, when did the penny drop? You sort of saying, hey, let's buy our first property, or like, did it come straight away? All right, we're going to make this like a project, or?
So the first year we were together, we moved in after 6 months. We're renting Albatross Avenue. We always knew in our mind we will buy a home. Then the next year we saved our ringers off. COVID was happening. We were in the peak of COVID, and I remember price homes were going up.
Yes.
We were going around to, where we thought, we liked Miami, all the Burleigh Waters, all of that. Every home that we did go into, very small ceilings, and Matt's 6'3", so it was literally hitting the fan on the way. And, we looked at these homes, and I knew, like, they're not worth, back then.
Yeah.
And that's only, 18 months ago. Sorry, they're not worth $1 million. like your land size is 405 square meter, and we were like, okay, we're not going to go outside of our realm here on our first home.
Yep.
We're in our, late 20s. We need to just be really smart about this.
Yep.
The house that we got, we paid, I don't care telling anyone, $775. It's on real estate so anyone can see it. Yeah. And we knew we thought, we saw it. We were like, oh my God, it's a 715 square block. It's flat. It has so much potential. High ceilings throughout the home. The layout, yes, very narrow, but we can do this. As soon as we walked in, we were like, it felt right.
It felt right, yeah, but we walked in and...
oh my God, people had their measuring tapes.
There was about 50 people. I think they had 2 open homes. They had 60 people at each one.
Yeah.
And the lady just wanted to sell. It was offers over $750.
It was crazy.
We called up and we're like, let's go for it. It wasn't exactly where we wanted to be, but it was a 30-second drive and it was, $200,000 cheaper than anything we saw on a bigger block.
4 minutes to the beach. And we're like, let's just do it.
And then we went there. We're like, we don't have a chance. And we just had a good chat with the real estate agent.
Oh, this is a funny story.
Chatted to her for about 10 minutes. And there's guys in there with tape measures with their parents and like running around. It was like a circus.
Yeah.
And we were just like, all right, sweet. We had a chat to her. She was a nice lady.
Really nice.
And we put in an offer for $775. And she called us at Arvo. She said, there's been about 40 people that have put in that same offer.
40
people.
Because at the time... love her to death, but there was houses 2 seconds away for 900.
It was an attractive price.
It needed to be sold, and we couldn't believe 775 we still got.
Yeah, and so she gave us a call. She said the owner just wants to sell.
She's
happy with 775, and she said the owner said to her, just pick your favourite couple.
Wow.
And she goes, if you can just pay, a little bit over 775, it's all yours. And then we hung up, we called her back, and we go, no, we're pre-approved, 775. Let's go.
And then
she goes, she said to the owner, she goes, I pick the girl with the nice eyebrows and the hard-working guy that was all covered in render.
Wow.
And I still to this day, I said, babe, that's why I pay $40 every 2 weeks for these bloody eyebrows.
That's right.
The return on investment.
ROI through the roof on the eyebrows.
Yeah. But I guess, we saw opportunity and maybe, we're very fast workers. Within 4 months, we're going, right, we've lived here. We moved in December 2020. Mm-hmm. We bought then. We moved in, saw the sun came in, saw the layout, got Jason paid in. Bradford Constructions, Brad's and Ford are very good friends of Matt, known him for years. And it literally started in July and it ended in, where we didn't realise it would go this well this quickly.
So quick.
But you've just got to roll with the wave. Like, you just got to go with it.
Yeah. And just on that, I just wanted to add some value to buyers around, I heard you say something around, it was 30 seconds from where you originally kind of wanted, but a lot cheaper. So what I always try to educate buyers who might be capped at a certain level or want to get in a certain area is the ripple effect. Yep. Mm-hmm. So obviously people get priced out of a key area. What generally happens is the next suburb straight over tends to raise on the capital growth. So do you want to tell me what you noticed? So obviously you were looking at a certain suburb and then you're pretty much, because where the house is, it's bordering the suburb you were originally wanting. Is that right?
Yeah, it's literally 30 seconds away from 300 Penny Street where we missed out of a $1 million property. And
so the postcode was Miami and then you ended up in
Burleigh. But like it's and everyone says to me, like they type in Miami, it's very I think it's Miami.
Yeah, no, I know where the pocket is. It pretty much is. So just to add value for buyers, as always, if you price out of a suburb, try and think of that ripple effect motion, look at the suburbs just surrounding and realise that growth's coming. Yeah. Growth's coming if you see an upward trend. So what about in terms of, okay, that happened super quick. Did straight away were you like, we're going to do a big reno here? Like, was that straight away the plan?
It was always the plan to do the big reno, but we moved in, we're there for a couple of months, then we engaged with builders and stuff like that, and it took a while for it to happen. We wanted it to start in Feb. Didn't start till July because we didn't realise, the council approved all this sort of stuff. But,
no idea.
Our plan with Project X, we always knew we were going to do something, and then we got close to it and we're like, no, we're not going to do an Instagram because, this person's going to have this house and call it Casa Della, whatever. And then we thought about it and we're like, you know what, we could really grab this, and if it's what we want to do, we're not going to call the Instagram handle Ruin X because then we're going to start the next one, Mad X or whatever it's going to be called. And then you got to start again.
I get you.
So we started our Project X Instagram to be able to do Ruin X. And then when we finish that, then we go on to the next one. And we can build that brand.
And Instagram.
And then really sort of help out, you know, once we build that brand, get that following, then get people in, you know, younger electricians and plumbers and help grow their business.
Local
by having
and
that following.
Love that.
Yeah, and again, you know, if you spread yourself too thin over marketing, I feel like you don't really see the organic growth. But if you have one channel all the time, you're active, you know, you're giving the followers what they want, because renovations are so exciting to people. And it's like, you know, it's like the block 24/7 on your phone. If you're following it, you know, a few accounts. So our whole idea was, right, let's really branch this down to it's our projects, X, because of the X, the object X, the render X, everyone knows it's us and him. And then we will name every house or renovation that we do a different name.
Yes.
Same channels.
Yep.
And, you know, really capitalize on that growth, because, you know, we've done it here and we are so blown away.
Yeah, we did not expect.
Oh my God.
What happened? Like when we put it on the market, we thought we'll put it on.
We'll see where it goes.
Maybe we might get a little bit of attention or something like that, but to get, you know, 2 write-ups in the Gold Coast Bulletin, in the Courier Mail,
Domain,
9
Channel 9.
News, Sky News, it was on the other day. Someone sent it to us. We didn't even know.
Yeah, it's so incredible, but again, it just comes down to passion.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, we've loved it, and like everyone's like, bloody hell, you're so weird, you're doing it again, because, you know, it is a stressful journey.
Yes.
But I think we really get off on working hard, working fast, loving the passion, loving the projects, and, you know, it was very stressful. I'm not going to sit here and say it was a walk in the park. There was a few times we, you know, had a couple of dollars to our name, to be completely honest with you. But we have always laughed about those moments now, and it's made us who we are. And I've really found my passion. Now I don't do in-the-game PR, and I'm like, this is me. This is
where you're
now
at.
I found it.
And was join the X team.
Yeah.
She's on board. What was the plan always to sell? Because obviously the plan, as you said, was to buy and do the reno. But was there ever a time where you thought this will be our forever home? Obviously you're young, so it probably wasn't. But to buy, reno, sell, and look to do maybe a few of those over the next 5 to 10 years?
Definitely was, yeah. We always knew. Look, I thought we might have been there for maybe a little bit longer than what we were. But, like, we're selling these places furnished. Everything's fully furnished. Everything's brand new. There's not a scratch in the house. We just want the buyer to pay the premium. They're going to walk in from wherever, Sydney, Melbourne, with their suitcase. They walk in and they're living there.
Unbelievable.
So. And I feel like, again, that's the whole thing as well. You know, when we were looking at furniture, we ended up making most of it because the wait times.
Yes.
We want people to walk into a home, and because our houses that we're going to do and done are so unique, you can't just go, oh, yeah, my black couch or my Kia's going to go.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you want people to go, right, I actually want to, I feel like I could sit on that couch and live there, and I could move in tomorrow.
It's like a full experience.
It's a full experience.
Yeah.
Because that's how you know, differentiate yourself from other people trying to renovate.
Yeah, yeah.
And we do have to have a point of difference, because there's so many other people out there like us.
I was just going to say, there are a lot of people, and there's a lot of people wanting to get on the journey as well. I heard you say so naive. What were some tips to buyers around some things you were naive on at the start? Because it's not like the block, you can just go in, get it done.
Yeah, that's it.
So
yeah, and Mitre 10 wasn't a sponsor, you know? So, like, come on.
What was some naive things at the start to add some value?
Okay, so I'm very visual, and I don't know the building industry, but if you need structural beams to do an extension or anything behind this wall or the gyprock, mate, it costs so much money. Yeah. So I'm just going, why is it that much? You know, and you know, material prices have gone up, and, you know, but that was one thing that I was definitely naive about. What about you?
Yeah, pretty much we're naive about the whole process, really, because like I was saying earlier, this is our first home we ever bought, first renovation we've ever done.
Wild.
So we'd never done it before. Obviously, I've been in construction, but I'm not a builder. I've never had a nail gun in my hand in my life. I've only had a trowel.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It was just the whole process was
We
new
winged
to
it.
us, and yeah, like Emma said, we just winged it and went for it. And
Yeah.
I guess there was a lot of hurdles along the way, but you know, we work well as a team, and
We do. We
can
really
smooth
do.
it over. And you know, going over budget's like one of the hardest things, but you just got to keep onto it, and you know,
Such risk.
you got to really
Yeah.
keep the communication with your trades, because sometimes they can do their job, say it's worth 10 grand, and they just keep going, and then at the end they send you a 20 grand bill, and you're just like,
Where was the kid? So that was
you didn't
me.
say-
I was the little
you
project
didn't- You
manager.
didn't say anything. So Emma kept on top of that, because a few at the start, you know, just blew out, and we're like, wow, we don't have this extra money. We're going to come to the end and just be like,
Yeah.
come to a standstill. So Emma ended up, I think for the first 3 months, I was working so much because I was so busy towards the end of last year. I
Crazy.
literally
Saw the house.
I'd see the house on a Sunday. I wasn't there for the first 3 months. And then the last like 2 months I was there and didn't leave and did all my work. But
Yeah, I think, you know, being naive, but always trust your gut. Like, you know, when we bought I got custom snake handles made for the door. Like, you know, I was putting up things like, you know, your voting polls and just, you know, getting followers attention. You know, most of the people like, what the hell? Like, no, I don't like this, you know. And I'm thinking, oh, God, okay, like, I know we're doing something pretty different here. But I knew, Matt knew, we knew our vision. And you just have to trust your gut and stay in your lane. Because if we did your Palm Springs or your Hamptons or playing it safe, we're not a point of difference. No. And this is weirdly turned into a business for us now. And we just, I just feel like you've just got to go with what you feel's right, because it ends up turning out perfect.
take that risk.
Take the risk. Take the risk. I mean, not to the risk that you have to, you know, sell assets and, you know, not that.
Yes.
But just if it's different and if it's new, it feels good to you, just do it.
Yep.
Like, don't worry about anyone else. Don't worry about the people that are giving options, because they are probably playing it safe and they are just probably watching for, you know, oh, I don't like that, but okay, yeah, you know. Your audience can be great and your audience can be bad.
Well, that's something I hear Saram say a lot around doing all those sort of things. You just said, Emma, before about trusting your gut. And I'm going to go off topic a little bit here, but I just want to know how both of your guts are feeling at the moment, because this Sunday there's a little event happening for you two, and I'm just wondering how you're feeling, because obviously we've spoken about the Reno and the Project X, but it's all going to come to a head this Sunday. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, so Sunday the 13th of March, we officially go to auction. I like to control situations. You know, I just like to know. I'm very budget numbers, spreadsheet, OCD. So for me not to control something like this is very scary and overwhelming for me. Matt is the most chilled out, cool as a cucumber. Thank God we're together, because yin and yang work.
Yeah.
I feel that there's been so much incredible organic hype. Some of the headlines have been a little bit red hot. Yeah.
Yeah, red hot.
Yeah, saying, you know, we're going to do the Burley Waters, you know, we're going to kick it. You know, Matt and I have no expectation. At the end of the day, we bought well. We renovated well. We were smart. Any win is going to be a win. It's just how big on the day.
Yep.
And we as a couple, you know, understand what we've paid, what we need to get out of here to get to the next one.
Yep.
It's been so incredible, and it's been really exciting for people to be interested in us and our project. But again, you know, I don't think there's expectations for us on the day. We're just going to have a few little morning Bloody Marys and mimosas, and Bob's your uncle.
Yeah.
How are you feeling, Matt?
I'm nervous, but super excited and keen. You know, if it doesn't sell, it doesn't sell.
Yeah.
We're not fussed. We're not going to be angry. We'll still keep it on the market and just run it out. Like, I'm happy to hang there for a while.
Yeah, it's a beautiful home to live.
See what happens on the day.
Yeah.
And, time will tell.
Yeah, and I guess a bit of value for all those buyers who are doing the project, looking to sell. It's a process, isn't it? You sort of think from the day you bought to this Sunday, the journey. You know what I mean? It's kind of like always have that end in mind, because what I noticed is the guys who I've worked with, some clients who've done really well with exactly what you've done, they've always got the end in mind. So they know what easy on Trent. They know I'll take a risk here. That you know, their budget. It sounds like you guys have always had a bit of a plan and vision. And what I see people do wrong is the ones who just try to ad lib. They're naive. They watch the block and they're like, super easy.
Anyone can do that.
Anyone can do that. And a big part of it as well, they bought well. Like, I feel you make your money on the way in.
Yeah, totally. You know, and I feel like also in a renovation, you know, for buyers as well, if you don't know what to do with renovations, go and seek help. Because, like, let's just say we said, oh, Matt, okay, you're going to have to help the builder here on the day. You know, Matt actually is better off making money rendering for Render X, and we get a third party in to help with that. Love just stay in your lane, not understand where you're good at, and we're not good at everything.
Surround yourself with good people.
Surround yourself with good people. Right, Matt, we can't do that, but we can afford, you know, you to be here that day. We can't do, you know, I just feel your team is like has to be where it's at.
That's great advice, isn't it?
Great advice.
You would have seen it too, Shrams. I've seen it plenty of times over the years where a couple, a male, whoever it is actually gone, I'm not going to pay that bloke to do that. I'll just do it myself. But they've just had 3 days off work to do
100%.
it. It's mind-blowing.
You know, it's done properly. Insurance is there. You can, if it's not done properly, you know, there's a third party involved. Like, there's just so many other factors that, you know, stick to what you're good at.
Yeah.
And if you do want to do this renovation period on a budget, you know, find 100 quotes and pick the best one. You know, do your research. Because, you know, majority of the time, you know, some people can be a little bit lazy with that and they just go, oh, yeah, I'll do it myself. They'll never get around to it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Well, at least we know that they got some good people in their corner come Sunday. We've got the GOAT doing the auction.
Yeah,
I've heard.
Yeah, listen to that potty if you haven't. Some great tips from there. And but one thing I noticed there, Crossy, as well, before we wrap up is it seems like you've subconsciously or not, you're treating everything like a business as well. Like I love that. But it's so
we don't have a switch off button.
Yeah, but that's how success comes, isn't it? If your time and money is utilized better elsewhere, you outsource the help. You stick to what you're good at. Like I see the best. You're following the traits of some of the best I've seen. So it's a real credit to you, and it's mind blowing. This is actually their first one. So what's the future look like? Like what's on the cards? You think? Like
I'm really excited to do the next one. And you being a buyer's agent, you maybe need to find us a property. But yeah, as soon as we sell, when we sell, we'll be on the hunt. We would like to, the only thing that we'd like to drop is hopefully getting on the water. We don't know what's going to happen in the real estate market. We don't have a crystal ball. No one does. But we always think the water holds value. So location for us next time, I'm not going to say we'll be better because we love where we live, but we're just going to utilise the water with our style.
Yeah.
And, yeah. What do you think, bub?
Yeah, I think the next one, we've got so many ideas in place, but we just have to really get the place because we need to see what the block of land looks like. You know, if it's an L shape, if it's on the water. I think we just need to hold on, have all these ideas, and then once we find the block, boom, then we're gonna know. But yeah, we sit there every night thinking what the next place is going to be called and what the style is. But we got some really cool ideas, and
we worked with so many amazing trades. Our builder, Jason Pate. Everyone was just, you know, how does our house go from that to that in 5 months? It is absolutely mind blowing, and it's a credit to the whole entire team. It's, you know. Yes, it's Matt and I, but it's the whole group that we've had. And we really want to continue doing these homes with local businesses that just want to kickstart, that are good at their job, and give them a go because Matt was there 7 years ago.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, that's the main thing, just
you know,
trying to tee people off and not use the youngest and cheapest and not try and collab with, you know, the tilers and the plumbers, just really...
Get a family.
Young people in, building their businesses.
They're hungry.
They're so hungry. And there is so many hungry tradies out there. It's insane. It's incredible. And if they have just a little bit of oomph, you know, usually they're doing something on their own.
Yeah.
So if we can just do that every build and just make sure we're working with like-minded people, everyone wins.
Well, I reckon if there's any young tradies listening to this, Trams,
Hey, hit us
they
up.
should be inspired because it's a pretty good story.
It's very inspiring. Yeah.
Oh, thank
yeah.
you.
And if I'm a young tradie and I've got someone like Matt to sort of mentor me or whatever, like that's a pretty good position to be
Yeah.
in. So,
Matt actually went on his first mentor date last night, actually.
a little bit of jealousy.
Mate, where's my date?
Yeah.
No. Justin Lane 3 years ago.
Well, even to the point where we've had some powerful females on here as well. Same as Emma, like the same as what you're doing in the entrepreneurial world and
Thank
things.
you.
So it's
just giving it a
awesome
crack,
to see.
guys.
Yep.
That's all it is.
Doing a good job.
And just thank you.
Well,
Yeah.
what I'm noticing the trade, isn't it, with some of the most successful we had on here.
Well, you say it all the time. There's plenty of ladies bossing it out there.
There's plenty, and a lot of it is put the blinkers on. Don't care what people think. Have a crack, because at the end of the day, you guys are in control of your future, aren't you?
Yeah.
Exactly. You're making it happen. So,
Yeah. No, there'll be a few bottles popped on Sunday if we sell or not.
When you sell, it'll happen.
The journey.
It will happen, but everything happens for a reason. So we're just going to ride the wave, no expectations, and we've just loved every minute.
It's good. Well, is it time for the Fast Five?
Yeah.
What's this?
Fast five, you reckon? Yeah.
Fast Five.
Yeah.
They look nervous. What is that? So you should be.
So first thing that comes to mind, all right? So first one is where's the holiday home? Anywhere in the world, any dwelling type as well. Where's the holiday home worldwide?
Oh,
You don't have to do the same one. If
okay.
Sweet.
If I had to live anywhere in the world,
this is pure holiday home only.
I know what
Mykonos.
she's going to say Mykonos.
Oh yeah,
Mykonos.
One of those villa.
Yeah, villa.
Yeah.
Oh my! Have you been?
No, I've seen. It looks
Oh,
unreal.
unbelievable!
Really?
The food, just everything, and the villas are just jaw dropping.
Yeah.
You can't actually believe it's on an island like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep, so
little
Mykonos for me.
Infinity pool.
Oh,
kinda. Yeah.
yeah. What about you?
Mine would be on an island in Indonesia in front of the best wave you've ever seen.
Oh,
Nice one.
Drinking
Oh,
coconuts.
little
and-
hut, babe. Bit different. Might have to
different,
bloody.
yeah.
You want to come with me? We'll go separate holidays.
She's coming.
all right.
directions.
What about pure blue chip investment? You're looking for a bit of cash flow. Just you never live in it. Just a pure blue chip investment worldwide. What do you
Take
think?
it away.
Oh, how much money have I have to spend?
It's endless.
It's endless. It really
You
is.
just sold Project X.
Yeah.
Oh, baby. New York.
I was just thinking that
New York would always hold its value.
it's the most expensive per square meter in the world.
Yes,
She's good.
Yeah.
because I just feel you've got Wall Street, people with money there.
Good
no matter
income
what you
growth.
buy, good income growth. There's always hustle bustle,
Yep.
ins and outs of immigrants. I just think fast forward, you've always hold your value.
Yeah. Very expensive market. What about you?
I'm going to be bad and say the same thing, so not
Yeah.
stealing your idea.
Hey,
Yeah.
all right. At least he's coming to New York with me.
Yeah.
Not with the Bali
I'll
hut
bring
and the
my surfboard
Mykonos.
to New York.
All right.
Hopefully I got a wave pool.
Keen to hear this one. What about, all right, you haven't met pre-Justin Lane. Bucks party, Hens party. Where's it at?
Oh,
I think
Party house.
No. I actually think we'd actually do it together, combined.
Okay.
Because
is this before we met though? Or
as in like.
Yeah, no, just boys' night, girls' night.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Oh God, look at me getting too romantic here. Girls' night. Oh God, maybe like a big house in Vaucluse, Sydney.
Oh, Vaucluse, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Just really nice long tabled lunch.
Yeah.
No strippers, none of
Yeah.
that
None of that
garbage. Just really nice setting and all my best
Just a bit
best
of a
girls there.
bottomless brunch.
Yeah, that's it.
Love
Bottomless
that.
brunch.
Love
Yeah.
that.
That's good.
Love that. What are
I
you,
feel like I
mate?
keep coming back to this, but I would
Bali
love
hut?
to, no, I'd love to just do a boat trip. Just going around different islands with mates, just on a boat.
Yeah, you would
15
love
of us
that.
and just surfing for like 2 weeks.
Oh my God, that'd be
Places
his
where
dream.
No one's sort of been.
Yeah.
That's it.
Unreal.
Mentawis or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That,
Yeah, the
that's been-
Mentawis, I was gonna
That's been
say.
said before.
Yeah.
Hey? Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to beat.
And what about, all right, this kids,
yeah.
where do you think you guys would settle down in the future? You're still so young, obviously, but
So young.
where do you think home for you is in the future?
Gold Coast for sure.
Yeah.
We're not
Yeah.
leaving. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
we want to punch out maybe 2-3 homes and then do
Just have a think of where the
Go
forever
for
home
the
could
kids.
be.
Yeah, I actually love acreage. And I think having that background of, you know, we've got accessibility to the beach for 5 minutes away.
Yeah.
So I think acreage, I think that's beautiful. Animals, land, big,
She
beautiful.
wants to start a farm. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll have a little barley hut for you. Don't worry, babe.
Farm X.
Imagine,
Farm
yes.
I love it. Farm X.
Jeez, that'd be wild, eh?
What about you, babe?
Yeah. So
Acreage?
We're bringing in some serious relationship questions.
I know.
They probably haven't spoken.
mine would be the same, out the back of Tally somewhere.
Yeah.
Nothing too far. Like, you know, it's close to the beach. Also out there, I'd love to have a bit of land and
It'd be beautiful.
a couple little cows, horses.
I thought you were saying a couple of little kids there, Doc.
All the stables will be rented.
Yeah.
Render the chook pen.
Yeah, that's right.
Everything. No.
And last question, guys. Just one piece of advice for buyers out there at the moment. Obviously, there's some deflated. There's some.
I know.
You know, you guys have been there. What's a piece of advice you can give each to buyers out there at the moment?
Look, never give up. You can go through and you can look at 10. You know, you see this one, you fall in love with it. You're like, that's it, and you're not gonna. You know, the chances are there's so many people looking. Don't get your hopes down. Don't get deflated. Keep going, high spirits. Keep looking, because it's going to take a while. And when you get that win, and it is a win, but you're going to have to keep at it and keep at it. It's not going to happen on the first one. It's not going to happen on the second one. Could happen on the 15th one, but when it happens, it's worth it. And
I definitely agree with that. My 2 things of advice is be prepared. Yeah. So don't go into a home when other people have cash or other people have pre-approval. Don't go in there thinking emotionally attachment. Go in there and go, I've got all of this ready to go. 99.9% of people do not have cash. So if you've got that pre-approval, show the agents you're keen. Connect with agents. Send them an email. Hey guys, here, Emma and Matt. This is what we're doing. This is what we're looking for. Go to the buyer's agent. You know, do your research. You can't just walk into a home thinking, oh yeah, it's great, it's white. Oh my God, I can't wait to put an offer in. You have to be prepared and you have to be connected, because that's a stepping stone. And the next thing is, yes, don't give up. It's not meant to be. Everything flows. As weird and as spiritual as we want to be here, everything happens for a reason.
That's great advice, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. They'll be prepared.
Yeah.
And both the resilience, isn't it? Like it's such a key in the property world. Like every door that shuts on you is getting you closer to the one that's meant to stay open.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are an inspiration.
Thank you so much.
We wish you all the very best for Sunday.
Thank you.
Yeah, cheers.
We'll be thinking of it. We'll be cheering for you.
I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thanks
just
so much for coming in.
Yeah, and just the journey. Just want to acknowledge, obviously, just your age and just having a crack on the Goldie. You know,
on the Goldie.
It's inspirational. So
appreciate
you would have
that.
added a ton of value, and really excited to see what this future holds for you both.
Yeah, cheers.
Same.
Thanks so much for having us on. We really appreciate it. And we're super stoked that we got the invite.
Yeah, very overwhelming again, but appreciate both your times.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Cheers.
See you guys.